Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about all my pre-final year mates. So the past year has been a complete disaster. Many lost their lives, many lost their dreams, and we all lost hope at some point of time. You must have made a lot of plans for your college life. You must have planned to work in labs, to make cool stuff, to build robots, and to work in fests, and a lot more. I too made plans. I wanted to work in department labs. I was more inclined towards wet lab stuff and wasn't much into coding and all. But the past year ruined everything. And the unpredictability of the whole situation caused the most damage. It was so sudden and unexpected that we went completely blank. We didn't know what to do. And now, as we realize it, 1 year has already gone. During the year when we were supposed to put in maximum effort in building our college life, we were forced to stay at home and watch our lives pass by through a square window. It wasn't until I started making my CV for on campus internships that I realized that there's a lot more to be done. And if I sit back and wait for the pandemic to get over, then I'll always be just sitting back. And I think it's the same for all of us. And the one thing that we need to hear in this situation is that it's never too late to start anything. So the need of the hour is to get up and start doing something. Search for things that we can do with all the constraints and restrictions that we have. Change our plans to fit in the new world. Now, this is not as easy as it sounds. Many times we need a motivation, a support system to push us, to show us the way. And that's why I decided to make this video. So this video is not going to be a guide actually. It'll be more of an insight into what all will be there in our third year that I got from professors, from seniors, and a lot of research. And I did a lot of research in the past months just out of the anxiety of entering third year through a rectangular window. When in reality, based on experience and based on practical knowledge, we're just primates, and hence the title of the video. And one thing we can learn from it is like some primates fought through nature and evolved into us, we too can evolve into the ones that we aspire to be. So in this series, I've tried to efficiently document the things that I gathered from different sources that might help you to kickstart your pre-final year. This series is going to be 3 videos based on the parameters that are essential in the life of a pre-final year student, and hope it helps you in some or the other way. So the first in the series are the controllables. These are the most basic, most obvious things that receive much less attention that they should get. And that's probably the case with all the controllables in our lives. We pay very less attention to the things that we can actually control in our lives. Now in the third year, we'll get a lot of opportunity to exploit these controllables, as the third year is like a transition between exploratory second year to application based fourth year. So I've divided the controllables into 2 parts. So here are the 2 aspects that can be controlled. So the first is academics. First of all, CG is important because in many cases there's a minimum CG requirement that you must fulfill in order to sit into an interview or apply for masters. Also, if you maintain a decent CG throughout your 4 years, it will project a positive image. Of course, there are a lot of things that can compensate for this, but having a decent CG will ease the process for you. And by decent CG, I don't mean you should be a 9 pointer. If you manage to cross 7, that's quite good. If you're plus 8, that's amazing. And even if your CG is below 7, there's a lot of time to work on it. We still have 2 years, and I'm sure that we can elevate it above 7 because we're already past our sophomore year and we are quite stable in our third year with respect to academics, and we know how the department works, how are the exams conducted in the department, and how are all the professors, how much marks will they give. So a major part of understanding the academics is already completed. But the main thing that I wanted to highlight through this video is a slight difference in the approach towards academics based on if you want to stay in the core sector or you wish to go into non-core. Now, if you're planning to stay in the core sector, you should study the subjects well because these are like the fundamentals that will help you a lot in your core sector. And the subjects in the third year are more inclined towards application than the ones in the second year. So you'll find them quite interesting and they'll be fun to do. Now, a good strategy would be to study during the class hours. If you study during the class, you'll have to give much less time afterwards. Now, by studying during the class, I don't mean that you should pay 100% attention to the lectures. What you need to do is Just get a grasp of what all is going in the lectures and differentiate between what are the concepts that are being taught and what are the facts. Now, why I'm saying this is because there's a fun fact that if you keep the concepts for studying just before the exams, and if you study the facts right now and you think that you can remember it till the exams, you cannot. Now, the best bet is to understand the concepts right now and keep the remembering part for the exams. Now, if you plan to stay in core but haven't yet figured out what you want to do, just like me, you just need to try out different things and make sure you give enough time to one thing before jumping on to the another. If you want to go into non-core, and by non-core I mean completely non-core, because I think that if you're studying data science, it's not actually non-core because it finds its application in all the core sectors. So if you're planning to go non-core, for you the departmental studies will be just for exams. And giving exams just for marks is quite easy, especially in the offline semesters. You can easily get marks without diving deep into the subjects. Now, for almost all the subjects, if you go through past year question papers and prepare the most scoring parts, you can get quite decent seats. Now, it's not that straightforward for most of us. Like we are not yet sure whether to stay in core or go in non-core. So if you're someone like this, don't worry, I've got you covered. There's a video coming up in this series only where we'll explore that particular part. So coming to the extracurriculars, this is something that we completely ignore in the quest for internships, projects and research work. Now that we are in the online sim, these things become very essential. We should keep some off time away from courses, from studies and from all the hustle just to keep us sane. Because interacting with our clubmates gives us a sense of belonging, which is very important in these difficult times. So whether you're a post holder or not, get involved with the clubs, work with juniors, work with your batchmates. These things will surely ease your journey and make it fun. That's all for episode 1. We'll be back in the episode 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Like the video if you find it useful, share it with your friends and do subscribe for more. Have a great day. Bye bye.